Hey guys, I'm here with another review, and today I will be talking about DC Universe's newest movie, directed by James Wan, Aquaman. And this will not be spoiler free. There will be spoilers, so all the way down to the post-credit scene. So if that's something that you don't want to hear, then within 5 seconds, I'm going to give you the chance to exit out of this video. If you're a subscriber, I'm not trying to ruin the movie for you, and hopefully, if you don't care for spoilers, I somewhat get you to go see the movie, and you enjoy it as much as I did. So, before I get started, I'll give you the 5-second start to take off out of the video, so I don't spoil anything for you. 5, 4, 3, 2, alright. So, I'm just going to give a little insight as to how I felt about the movie. I thoroughly enjoyed it, so I'm going to give you like a few pointers first. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought the soundtrack was complete shit, and the visuals were amazing. Alright, so first off, Jason Momoa, I just want to personally say thank you. You'll probably never come across this video, but thank you for making Aquaman look such a badass. For years, people have disrespected him, and Throne of Atlantis, the Justice League movie, was kind of one of the movies, the animated films, that really got me into thinking, like, whoa, Aquaman is more than just a guy who talks to fish. I love the fact that they've taken this Samoan turn on it, and you're playing Aquaman because you perfectly embodied the role. Everything about your character is kind of speechless, man. Like, you just own it, and that's what I love. Like, this really cocky, somewhat cool Aquaman. It's perfect. It's the role for you. I've been following along as long as you've been Aquaman, from Batman vs. Superman to the Justice League, now to your very own movie. Congratulations, man. That's amazing. Alright, so for those of y'all who want to know, Aquaman is basically the story of Arthur Curry, alright? How he became the Aquaman. It shows his backstory. Why is he supposed to be the king of Atlantis? What makes him anything, like, what makes him any type of royalty? Well, I'll start that off. Arthur Curry's father works at a lighthouse. Doesn't really work at a lighthouse, but he owns a lighthouse. That is his house, right? One day, a woman washes up on shore. He goes to save her. She has a cut on her side. Doesn't really explain where that cut came from. He takes her in to help her out. Wakes up the next morning. She kind of starts to flip. Reassures her that his name, that he's just a human. There's nothing to be afraid of. She goes on to say that I am Atlanta, the queen of Atlantis. I am Atlanta from Atlantis. And she says that she was trying to escape an arranged marriage and somehow ended up there at the shore of the lighthouse on the rocks. That's all she really gives any insight to. So immediately they kind of kick it off. They start living together for a while. She falls in love with him. He falls in love with her. 9 months later, a baby is born. Baby Arthur Curry, which is named after the hurricane that is coming to that the news is talking about. Like, there's a hurricane coming, and that's the name. That's the name. Like, oh, he's like, the dad's like, why not name him Arthur? So you get Arthur Curry. So she grows with him till he's about maybe 2 or 3 years old, and then the men from Atlantis come looking for her. And after they come looking for her the first time, she goes ahead and wards them off, but then tells, the guy that she's dating, Arthur Curry's father, I can't stay here. I have to go. They're going to continue to look for me, and since they found me, I'll never be able to escape. So she takes off. She leaves. That's it. You don't hear from her for years. Arthur Curry grows up. It shows his upbringing. Little things here and there. It shows him, like, as a kid, as a baby, as a kid, as a teenager, and as an adult. It shows when he first has his interaction, which is in the trailers, with the fish at the aquarium, when those guys are bullying him. So this is his little insight, okay? I'm just giving you the insight because this is a full movie review. I want you to know that this is what the movie I'm reviewing it. And I took some pointers from my Into the Spider-Verse review. I was just really excited to talk about it. It didn't really give y'all insight to what happened exactly. So you see his upbringing, all right? And then we fast forward. Arthur Curry's an adult. I'm going to point out a few things. I believe it says 1985. That's when Atlanta washed up on the rocks outside of the lighthouse. So it takes 9 months for a baby to be born, depending on how soon his parents had sex. You know. So I want to say maybe 1986 is when he was born, or maybe late 1985, depending on how early it was. I don't know. So then I'm giving you that out because it's a pointer, because it's somewhat of a flaw I saw in the movie, and I'll bring it up later on. So yeah, basically Arthur Curry grows up just with his father. He doesn't really show what he has for a job or what he's doing. The people of his town pretty much know him as Aquaman. They know that he's the guy that saves people here and there. The events take place after the Justice League, this entire movie. So basically what happens is, what's going on in the underwater world of Atlantis is that there's different kingdoms being ruled by different people, right? And Orm is the brother of Aquaman, Arthur Curry. And after a while, he becomes to get, played by Patrick Wilson, he kind of starts to get pissed. We also have Willem Dafoe in the movie and Dolph Lundgren. I respectfully enjoyed each and every single one of their characters and the parts they played. Ludi Lin, the guy who played the Black Ranger, Zach, in the newest Power Ranger movies, he comes out in the movie and looks completely different than how he looks in real life. So shout out to the makeup department, because that was really crazy. But yeah, so while we're getting this story built underground, right, under the water, that basically Orm wants to take leadership as king, and he's upset because he wants to go to war with the surface world because of the pollution and the stuff that has been happening in the oceans. It's starting to piss him off, right? Meanwhile, we have Arthur Curry kicking ass in a submarine scene, right? Like, there's this whole scene where he stops these pirates from taking over a Navy submarine. He beats each and every single one of them up. As I said before, it's spoilers. It leads to him meeting the Black Manta. Of course, he's not the Black Manta at the time. He ends up killing the Black Manta's father. Not really, yeah, in a way he somewhat kills him, doesn't really kill him. He just leaves him to die, and so that's what builds the Black Manta storyline, in which he's really pissed. First of all, they were both pirates, so Aquaman shows no sympathy to them whatsoever. It's a really cool fight scene. What I love the most is that it really shows, like, the stealth of Aquaman. I never knew just exactly what he could do, but in the movie, you see him, like, take bullets, and, like, they don't penetrate his skin. Knives can't penetrate his body, or swords or anything like that. The only thing that really can is Atlantean spears and Atlantean metal. Other than that, an Atlantean's pretty much invincible to what we use to cut or to stab or to kill or to shoot. So, I mean, you have that really cool scene. It builds the storyline for Black Manta and why Black Manta hates him so much. So let's fast forward. You know that Orm wants to go to war with the surface world, right? So, people down there in the surface world, people down there in Atlantis start to trip, like, maybe Orm's taking it too far. Do we really want to go to war with the surface world? Do we really want to go to war with the people? Why can't we just coexist? In which case, Mera hears everything that's going on. Mera takes off to the surface world, gets Aquaman and tells him, hey, this is going on. They want to bring war, this and this. You need to stop this. You need to come down and rightfully take the throne as the king of Atlantis, who you were always meant to be. In which case, Arthur's like, no, I don't want to. They killed my mother. Again, Arthur supposedly knows what happens to his mom. She was killed after the arranged marriage. She went back to live underwater. The reason Orm is his half-brother is because when she went back to that arranged marriage. She had to bear a child for the king. They gave birth to Orm, and Orm is Arthur Curry's younger brother. Here's what doesn't make any sense. Patrick Wilson and Jason Momoa, how old are they for them to have been in 1985, let alone Orm be born 1980, probably 1986, because it was like, you know, way later. For them to look like, you know, I think somebody that was born at that time would maybe be in their late 30s, you know what I mean? But I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. Patrick Wilson and Jason Momoa do look young still, but I couldn't really buy that, you know what I mean? So that's just me. It was still great on their part, but I just couldn't really buy that. Aside from that, I don't mean to jump around. I'm just trying to explain the movie. Yeah, so you wanted to go to war with the surface world, basically. Arthur Curry, you know, and Mera are talking, and she just slight little drop that he was in the Justice League, which kind of upset me because I feel like we're trying to build this universe even bigger, and I feel like we're stalling by the way that James Wan just gave that little hint of, well, you helped defeat Steppenwolf, and she goes, you helped defeat Steppenwolf and you save Atlantis from Steppenwolf, so, you know, you rightfully should come down and blah, blah, blah. Arthur Curry's like, no, it's not going to happen. Eventually he gives in. He's like, all right, let's go. I care about the surface world, and I don't want that idiot Orm to take over the surface world or drown it, because after a while the sea starts to push the pollution back onto the land, and it's like the waves are like hitting certain parts of the world where just pollution is flown back from the water onto the land. Orm's kind of throwing a hissy fit, basically. So fast forward, we have Aquaman go down there, tries to become the king of Atlantis, challenges Orm. Orm basically kind of wins the fight because Aquaman's losing, and then Mera and Willem Dafoe find a way to save his character. So Aquaman gets to take off, which is kind of like, oh man. At the same time, a fight between two brothers to the death reminded me of the Black Panther, and I think it was much better displayed between Killmonger and T'Challa in the Black Panther earlier this year. So for the win on that, I definitely give it to Marvel. Still, so then have this fight. I'm going to fast forward a little bit because I'm trying not to make this review too long. At the same time, I don't want to give away too much. I want y'all to go see it. I want y'all to go enjoy it. So fast forward, he takes off. Then, you have this storyline about him having to find a trident that was owned by a king, but this trident gives you the control of oceans, and Mera's like, we have to find that trident. Basically, whosoever holds this trident, if he be worthy enough, shall possess the power of Aquaman. Not to say it in that sense, but that's what it felt like. It felt like Mjolnir, Thor, whosoever holds his hammer, if he be worthy enough, shall possess the power of Thor. So he goes on this, most of the movie takes place on this journey to find the trident, then finding clues in different spots, and then actually finding the trident eventually, in which Arthur Curry gets that really cool Aquaman suit. Fast forward, as I said before, I'm fast forwarding because I want to tell you what I liked about the movie, what I disliked. Fast forward, then there's the whole fight thing. I'm leaving out certain parts because I'm not trying to tell you everything about the movie, but fast forward, there's a fight again. He's Aquaman, looks really dope. Fights Black Manta as well. He fights Black Manta before he fights his brother Orm, which is really cool because both fight scenes are really great and really enjoyable. And then, movie basically ends after he fights. Basically says, okay, I'm the king of Atlantis now. That's pretty much just how it's going to be. I'm Aquaman, right? And it ends with him, like, jumping up in the air. And it looks really cool. Like, not jumping out of the water, basically. And it looks, like, really cool, the pose that they have him in. Roll credits. Post-credit scene. It's funny because if y'all remember the officer that was after Scott Lang in Ant-Man and the Wasp, that guy who was really funny and became kind of friends with Scott Lang at the end of Ant-Man and the Wasp, that guy comes out in Aquaman. I always think it's really cool when I see like actors being used in both Marvel and DC. So he comes out in Aquaman. He's a scientist who believes that there is a city of Atlantis. There is stuff going on underwater. He finds Black Manta basically, and this is the post-credit scene. Finds Black Manta washed up on the rocks. It's kind of restoring his health, and then Black Manta's like, he's like, is this Atlantean armor? And Black Manta's like, yeah, I could tell you where the Atlantean armor is when you tell me who this is. And he throws like a spear at a thing that says who is Aquaman, a newspaper article. But here's the crazy thing. The whole fight scene with Black Manta, it was strictly against Aquaman. Like he hated Aquaman because he blamed the death of his father on Aquaman, on Arthur Curry. So they have that fight scene. It's really badass. The way that Black Manta builds his suit basically is he's giving Atlantean armor from Orm because Orm is actually working with the pirates. Orm's a jerk. He's an asshole. He's basically working with the pirates. And so yeah, I kind of skipped over that little detail. Again, it's just going to be a review, but at the same time, I'm not trying to give away all of it. So yeah, there's the fight scene. As I'm saying before, the fight scenes between each character in the movie is really cool. The action is really cool. So I gave you the entire movie, right, condensed in a way, and then I gave you some of the what the hell? Some of the the post-credit scene. There's only one. That's it. Only one post-credit scene. I was hoping for, at the end of that post-credit scene, I didn't really want him to say who is Aquaman. Help me find who Aquaman is. I wanted to see Lex Luthor. I wanted to see freaking Lex Luthor and Deathstroke, and somehow them get him to join their team. But no, we don't get that either. They do pay homage, though, throughout the movie to Aquaman and two different things. For example, Black Manta, when he's creating a bigger helmet for himself, it shows the old Black Manta outfit. He tries to use the laser beams on it from the technology that was given to him by the Atlanteans, and the helmet breaks, and he's like, we're going to need a bigger helmet. But there's homage because you see the original one right there, his first prototype. It's really cool. So, things I liked about this movie. I love the visuals. I feel like this movie, James Wan directed it. To be a horror director, I think he did a perfectly great job. The storylines in his movies are really enjoyable in horror as far as that goes. So I figured for him to take on Aquaman. Plus, the guy really took his time with this. Really made Jason Momoa look badass. Really told a great and fun storyline. So the pros about this movie is that it's very enjoyable. The visuals are amazing. I feel like this movie is meant to be seen in 3D. I do not like 3D, so I saw it in standard, but I feel like the visual was meant to be seen in 3D. It's really captured to be seen in 3D, underwater and everything, just everywhere they go. I feel like Amber Heard, Dolph Lundgren, Willem Dafoe, Nicole Kidman, Patrick Wilson, Jason Momoa, they all played their roles well, perfectly. I don't have any gripes about them whatsoever. I don't think any of those actors are bad. I don't take Dolph Lundgren the most serious, because, you know, he's an action star, and usually action stars don't have to be serious, but really enjoyable in this movie. Definitely really enjoyable to go watch if you're a fan of DC. This is basically a win for the franchise to me. So yeah, the visuals are amazing. The fight scenes are amazing. The whole fight scene between Black Manta and Arthur Curry is probably one of the best scenes in the entire movie. I enjoyed it more than I enjoyed the fight scene between him and Orm. Between Aquaman and Orm, I enjoyed that fight scene less than I enjoyed the one between Black Manta, because that whole fight scene is crazy. It's really well, it's just really well put together. I enjoy Amber Heard's Mara. Like, she's a really enjoyable character. She's not just some kind of sideline chick. She's actually really cool. There's a connection between her and Arthur Curry. Her dialogue is good. And her action scenes are pretty badass. To see Nicole Kidman fight and to see Amber Heard fight, it's pretty cool. I mean, at their own separate times, but it's still really enjoyable to watch. The cons about this movie. The soundtrack is complete shit. None of the music that was played in this movie went with any of the scenes whatsoever. Pitbull, you did not have to remix Toto by Africa. That sounds like complete garbage, and that's just the truth, brother. Like, stay away from that. You didn't have to touch it, and you did. And guess what? It's played in the movie when it doesn't need to be played. As I said before, none of the soundtrack fits with any of the movie whatsoever, so that's a big flop for the movie itself. And especially because I think DC's had some pretty decent soundtracks. I think the best soundtrack for DC was Suicide Squad. Although I didn't enjoy Suicide Squad as much as I thought I would, I still think that one has the best soundtrack. Aside from that, some of the movie feels a little too long. It's 2 hours and 23 minutes, but I feel like some of the scenes went on for too long to where the dialogue got cheesy. It's like they spent like 15 to 20 minutes on certain scenes that should have been cut off at 10 minutes, or should have been cut off at like 5 or 7 minutes, because we got the point. After a while, the dialogue just didn't really seem to fit. There's scenes where it feels like they didn't know what to do, so it's just kind of there. Like whenever Aquaman and Mera are in the Sahara, and they're looking for this one place that holds clues as to where to find the trident, and they're just standing. After a while, he gets really mad. He's like, we've just been traveling here on sand forever, we're never going to find anything, blah blah blah. And then out of nowhere, he just falls through the sand, and then Mera jumps in right after him. Kind of cheesy to me. Some of the dialogues really cheesy, not really good. I feel like James Wan is as great of a movie as it was. I feel like he may have dragged it out to be exactly 2 hours and 23 minutes because he wanted it to be a long movie. So a lot of the stuff they could have done without. Other than that, all around great, enjoyable movie. It's one that I enjoyed watching. It's one that I will be seeing again, and one that I will be purchasing once it hits Blu-ray and DVD. I would definitely say go see it. It's very fun. It's very enjoyable. It's another one to add. Jason Momoa made Aquaman is what I'm saying, that he plays his own version of Aquaman. This isn't the white boy Arthur Curry. We're getting this Samoan Jason Momoa, Arthur Curry. It's enjoyable. It's fun. It's a thrill ride. It's a thrill ride, man. It's just all around fun. The movie is fun. It doesn't try to take itself too serious or do what it knows it can. It's a lot of fun. It's definitely worth the watch. And when you get the chance, definitely go see it. I think it's a win for the DC Universe because I feel that, like, I don't agree with Rotten Tomatoes on their scores. They've given some of the most shitty movies perfect scores, and I just think that's complete bullshit. But what I do like is that some people rely on Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah, as weird as that is, they rely on reviews. I never do. I go see a movie for myself. If I like it, I like it. If I don't, I don't. But I think it's good when things like Rotten Tomatoes give it a good score, because then we get more movies now. People listen to the score that is given to them by Rotten Tomatoes, and then they go see the movie, which again is another win for the DC Universe. Again, guys, as I said before, I'm a Marvel and a DC fan. I want to see both franchises succeed no matter what. So with that being said, guys, thank you for tuning into my review. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and like this video if you want. You don't have to, but it'd be nice. One more thing. Merry Christmas. If I don't make another video by then, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. I hope y'all spend the time with loved ones and enjoy it with friends and family. Again, if you don't have any loved ones to spend it with, just know that you are fully loved and known by God, and that's something. Oh, and if you don't watch DC Universe's Titans, definitely go see it. I just finished the season finale yesterday, and Lord, it is so great. Everything about that show is amazing. I can go on and on, but maybe I'll start doing reviews and talking about that come the second season. Check it out. Doom Patrol also released their promo images and their promo trailer. I don't really like how Cyborg looks at all, but hey, I'm gonna give it a shot. Just like y'all should give Titans a shot. Just like y'all should give Aquaman a shot. With that being said, peace. Thanks for listening to my review, and God bless.